Yo, what's the deal? What's the deal? What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on, people? What's going on? Obviously, y'all know what it is. We're gonna give it a few. We're gonna give it a few. We're gonna give it a few minutes, man. Excuse me while I set up some of these cables real quick. What up, though? What up, though, Brutal? What's good, man? What's good, Joshua? What y'all on, man? What y'all on, man? What up, though? 1, 2, 3, Mark Fast. All right, now your boy can hear himself. We good. We Gucci. We smooth. You feel me? You feel me? Y'all know how I do. Give it 5 minutes, let people fill in. What y'all been on today, man? How y'all feeling today? It's Friday. Had a long week. I had a long week ahead of me, bro. I'm just glad it's over. Friday, chilling. Tomorrow, chilling. Sunday got some work to do. Grinding as usual. I like that. Any opinions on the vaccine? I'm not taking it. But that's just me. I don't discourage anyone who wants to take it. If you want to take it, that's your business, but I'm not taking it. That's me. 6 people in the building. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all hitting that like button for your boy. Gonna be an interesting topic today, man. And I'm gonna make it an open panel today, just in case anybody wants to chop it up. If people tune in, it's Friday night. I don't know. My state is quarantined right now, so it ain't really nowhere to go anyway. Restaurants closed and all that. So I ain't going nowhere. So hopefully people tune in. I might drop the StreamYard link later on. We might be able to chop it up with somebody or some people. You feel me? 7 people in here. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Let me just monitor my live real quick from my phone. Exam week, man. It's final season where I go to school too. I had a final yesterday, a final presentation today. I had another final presentation on Wednesday. And then what? I got some more assignments for my nutrition, my exercise and nutrition class later on, some exam. I got, it's all kind of stuff going on. Final yesterday. All kind of stuff going on. What's good, Gio? What's different? What's the word? We got 8 people in here. Don't forget to hit that like button. Y'all know what the deal is. Y'all know how I do things. We're going to give it 5 minutes. We at 3:18, 3:20. So I'm going to give it another minute and 40 seconds. Another minute and 40 seconds till we tune in, man. I wish the light didn't mess with my eyes. And I wish y'all could see my eyes. I wear my prescription shades because that light be so bright, it be messing with my vision. What's good, Immune? But I'm going to try to go a little while without my glasses on. So I can't really read because I can't see the chat unless I'm looking at my phone. But I might do that because I don't like my eyes being blocked off from y'all necessarily. Excuse that dog in the back, bro. I live in an apartment with a courtyard in the middle. And somebody has their dog like outside, I guess, using the bathroom, barking away. How come the live with me and that girl got it? Oh, so the live I was supposed to do with Cindy and Pretty, that was on me. The night of the live, I had an emergency to tend to. So we were supposed to do the live at 8 or 8:30. I think it was 8 o'clock, but I had to be on standby and be ready to dip anywhere between 7 p.m. and midnight that night. So I had to tell her we got to postpone it. So look for that in the upcoming future. We are still going to do the live. It's just, it had to be postponed because I had some difficulties on my end that I had to take care of. You feel me? So we have 4 minutes and 40 seconds. We got 10 people in here. Make sure y'all are hitting that like button. Make sure y'all are subscribing. If anybody in here is new, I don't know. Y'all might be new. What I'm saying? Might be some new people in here. But what's good, Immune? I think I said it already. What's good, Red? 5 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Boom. So What's good with your boy, man? It's Fluhnoy. We gonna be talking about, is it harder dating as a nerdy, geeky individual? Is it more difficult to attract the opposite sex when you have the nerdier, geekier vibe going on? And I'm explaining to y'all what's good. Do you get the fame? Like I said, I'm gonna try and do a little bit of this with my glasses off because I don't like having to block my eyes from y'all. You feel me? Um, Now, this conversation was actually inspired by a conversation I had with an acquaintance of mine well over a year ago. And he's black. This is on my university. He's black. And he was more of the nerdy, geekier, suburban type, you know, um, kind of goofy posture, glasses. He ain't really had no swag, you know what I'm saying? That was just who he was. And I was cool with him. He was a cool dude. I was cool with him, but we had a really deep conversation one day. He hit me up. We were talking, and he was really bent up about how he's really attracted to black women. Like, he's black. He really is attracted to black women, as you would expect. But he said that so many black women have told him that he's too geeky or he's too nerdy or he's too goofy. You know what I'm saying? That they wouldn't mess with him. You feel me? Let me put my glasses back on. I want to read this chat. What's good, Darkest WG? He was telling me that so many black chicks had told him he was too nerdy or he was too geeky. He ain't have enough swag enough. And it was so discouraging to him because he didn't want to venture out. He didn't want to swirl. He didn't want to, go mess with white chicks or go mess with Asian chicks. Even though he knew it would be easier to date in those demographics, he didn't want to venture out because he wanted to get with a black woman. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame him. I love black women too. You feel me? So I didn't blame him. I completely understood where he was coming from. And so that's never left my mind. That's never left my mind. That was actually one of the conversations that I've always remembered that influenced me to start my YouTube channel. You feel me? Once again, I'm gonna take my shades off. See how long I can last with this light. Like I told you, my eyes be bothering me. But I never forgot that conversation. Never forgot that conversation. That conversation was deep. It was very transparent. He let me in to who he was and to what he was dealing with and how much that having problems in his dating life and his sexual life was taking a toll on him. You know what I'm saying? We in college. He a year older than me. So I'm a junior. He 20. So this was last year. So he was probably 20 or 21 at this point. We ain't nothing but walking boners at this point. And it's got to be difficult when you can't get sex from the women that you want to get sex with, or you can't even, talk to the women you want to talk to because off the rip, they think you too nerdy or they think you too geeky. You know what I'm saying? So that's where this live was inspired by, because this was a conversation that I've never forgotten. I don't think I ever will, just because of how deep it was and how much I learned in that conversation. So first, let's establish some distinctions, about the nerdy, the geeky energy, the nerdy, the geeky swag, the nerdy, the geeky attitude, the nerdy, the geeky behavior, the nerdy, the geeky interest, right? Imagine how geeky black women feel. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that soon. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this isn't just about, geeky or nerdy men. This is about geeky or nerdy individuals in general. So we're gonna talk about black women too. But let's make some distinctions first. What is nerdy? You know what I'm saying? What is geeky? What does it mean to be a nerd? Let's actually go on Google and look up the definition of a nerd. I'm gonna do that right now. So, according to Google, y'all see I looked it up. I ain't lying to y'all. Will it focus? Probably not. Screen too bright. But I got it on Google. The first definition of a nerd on Google is a foolish or contemptible person who lacks social skills or is boringly studious, right? Now, what the key I want to take out of there is lack social skills and is boringly studious. That's the one I want. That's what I want to take out of there, right? The second definition of the word nerd in a noun form is a single-minded expert in a particular technical field. A single-minded expert in a particular technical field. Now, we could take both of those. We're going to use both of those. So remember, the first definition was a foolish or contemptible person who lacks social skills or is boringly studious. The second definition as a noun for the word nerd was a single-minded expert in a particular field. Now, let's break down that first definition. That first definition of the word nerd in a noun form. A foolish or contemptible person who lacks social skills or is boringly studious. Now, I'm sure we all understand what it means to lack social skills. We don't got to talk about that. I don't have to break that down for y'all, what it means to lack social skills. You feel me? However, boringly studious. Boringly studious. You feel me? Boringly studious. What does that mean? Boringly studious means that they are so into their studies, or they're so into their academia, or they're so into their interests that it takes over their whole life, and it takes over their whole being to the point where they don't really live a life outside of their academia or their studies. They don't really have personality outside of those couple things that they're interested in. You know what I'm saying? That's what boringly studious is. Boringly studious is when you might hit up a dude Saturday night and you ask him, hey, what you want? Can I slide through? We watch the game or something. And he's saying, no, I have to watch this lecture on biomolecular cell division, whatever the case may be. That's what boringly studious means. His studies or his academia takes over his social life. It takes over his vitality. It takes over his personality. It takes over his vibrancy in life. That's what boringly studious means. So that was the first definition. Now, the second definition was just a single-minded expert in a particular technical field. What does that mean? That just means somebody who is really smart in one particular thing, you know what I'm saying? Or a couple particular things, a few particular things. But all that definition means is someone who is really learned in a particular field or study. You understand what I'm saying? I'm just scrolling through this. La Princess, hey, how you doing? Apologize, I don't have my glasses on. I'm gonna throw them on just to read this chat real quick, though. I'm gonna throw them on just to read this chat. Okay, so that's the definition of nerd. That's the definition of a nerd. Now let's look up the definition of a geek, and I'm sure it's different. So the definition of a geek, the first definition in a noun form, is an unfashionable or socially inept person. That's the first definition of a geek. Excuse that plane in the background. That's the first definition of a geek. Unfashionable or socially inept person. The second definition of a geek. Oh wait, no, that's not relevant. That's not relevant. So we just gonna use the first definition, an unfashionable or socially inept person. We already know what that means. Now, let's break down how we use the words nerd and geek in real life, right? Usually when we say nerd, when we call somebody a nerd or when we call somebody a geek, what are we talking about? We're saying that they're very into their studies. Let's talk about nerd first, because nerd and geek are two different things when we use them as colloquialisms. If you don't know what a colloquialism is, just look it up. Colloquialism. When we use the words nerd and geek, not in their exact definitions, but we use them as colloquialisms, they mean two different things. So when we call somebody a nerd, we're saying that, oh, they super smart. They always in the books. They're very into their studies. They're very into their academia. They're very intelligent. They're very heady. And by heady, I mean that they're very in their head all the time. Maybe not in the moment. They're very in their head. Maybe too logical. They're very logical. Maybe logical to a fault. You feel what I'm saying? That's what we say when somebody is a nerd. When somebody is a geek, what does a geek mean when we use it in daily life? Geek usually refers to video games or anime or comic books or, stuff like that. And note that nothing is wrong with either of these kinds of people. Nothing is wrong with being a geek or nothing is wrong with being a nerd. We just defining them and breaking them down so that we can discuss this thoroughly in this live stream. So when we use the word geek, that's usually the guy who loves playing video games or the guy who loves reading comic books, the guy who the guy who collects like the playing cards, like Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards. The geek is the guy who, we just gonna leave it at that. We already know. Now, what's something that we hear from a lot of nerds or geeks? They may ask, should I let a girl know that I like this, or that? You'll hear a dude ask, should I tell a girl I like anime? Or a dude will ask, should I tell a girl I love Dragon Ball Z? Or should I tell a girl I like watching Naruto? Should I tell a girl I like playing video games? Should I tell a woman I collect comic books? Those are the questions that they're asking because they think that their interests is what's going to turn off a woman. Their interest is what's going to steer a woman off. Now, that is true to some extent. If you messing with, if you messing with a LaShonda from around the block, then yeah, she may not mess with a dude when she hear that, he love playing Yu-Gi-Oh and playing Pokemon and watching anime. In that situation, yeah, but we talking about real world adults, in normal life. The misconception is that your interests, the nerdy interests or the geeky interests, is what's going to turn a woman off or turn a man off. Like I said, we talking about both. So that's the misconception. That's the misconception. And it's hard to drill in their mind that it's not the interest that's turning people off. It's not the interest that's turning women away, or it's not the interest that's turning men away. What's turning the opposite sex away is the behavior. What's turning the opposite sex away is personality. What's turning the opposite sex away is the social skills or lack thereof, the social awkwardness. We got 18 people in here. Make sure y'all hitting that like button for your boy. That's the hard thing to drill into the nerdier or the geekier men and women. It's not about what you like. It's about how you behave, how you interact, how you are in social spaces. You feel me? That's what it's about. Now let's do this. Let's do an exercise together. Let's do an exercise together. I want y'all to picture in your mind, like draw in your head what you think a nerd or a geek looks like when you first hear the word. When someone first says nerd or geek, paint that image in your head of the first image that appears in your brain. You feel me? For me, that image of a nerd or a geek is going to be, for a man, right? For a man, it's going to be some dude with like some goofy thick glasses. It's going to be a dude, his hair probably unkept. He probably got on a button-up plaid shirt. You feel me? Buttoned up to the neck. He probably got textbooks in his arm with a big ass book bag. Big ass book bag, like we ain't talking like no JanSport. We talking about a giant bag that's meant to carry tech. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of a dude who probably got on some khaki pants that's hella wrinkled, cuffed pants, cuffed too high, or maybe his pants is flooding when they not supposed to. He got on wrinkled khakis that's flooding with some white socks and some black rubber dress shoes. Like the cheap dress shoes you get from like DSW or Payless. You feel me? That's what pops into my brain. I'm not saying that's what a nerd or a geek is. I'm saying that's what pops into my brain when I hear the male nerd or geek. Now let's go to a woman. Let me just scan the chat real quick. Yeah. So that was the man. Now let's talk about what pops into my head when I think of a nerd or geeky woman. I'm thinking of a chick who is, the backpack with the wheels. The backpack with the wheels. I had one of those in third grade. It was black and orange. In third grade, that was fire though. I ain't gonna lie. But now let's move on to the nerdy or the geeky woman. What image pops in my brain when I think of the nerdy or the geeky woman? I'm thinking of, her hair. She might wake up and like brush her hair just straight back, no part, just straight back. Or she got a ponytail that don't have no part down the middle. It's just pulled back hair and ponytail. It don't have no part. It's not, her edges ain't on fleek. You know what I'm saying? To bring it back to 2015, her edges ain't looking nice and cute. They looking kind of nappy. She might wear glasses. She might not. She dressed kind of goofy. You know what I'm saying? She might have on like some shirt that's hella big. It might be sky blue with rhinestones on it. She got on some blue jeans, and they just blue jeans. Like they don't got no distress. They don't got, excuse all that noise in the background. She got on blue jeans that's plain as hell. She got on a big ass shirt with rhinestones on it. Her jeans flooding too, just like my man's was, but his was khaki. Her jeans flooding. She got on white socks with like some old lady Reeboks or some old lady Nikes, some Skechers or something like that, some Nike Monarchs or some Adidas Samoas. You know what I'm saying? And it's 2020 and you a grown ass woman. That's what comes in my head with when I think of a nerdy or a geeky woman. And I'm thinking of, look, she got the ponytail with no part, and she got a pink headband, a pink plastic headband on her head. You know what I'm saying? Pink plastic headband on her head that don't match the outfit. That don't match the outfit. You feel me? Don't match the outfit. So those are the images that come into my brain when I think of a nerdy or geeky man and woman. Now, the thing with the problem with that is the image has nothing to do with their interests. Their image has nothing to do with what they like. Notice I didn't mention, I think that they probably like this or that, or they watch this or that. Everything was about the way they look, the way they behave. You know what I'm saying? Now, how do they act? We all have the same vision when we think of how a nerdy or a geeky person acts. They socially awkward. They probably clumsy. They probably be dropping shit. They the kind of people that they drop all their books at least once a week. They drop all their books and it's windy as hell, or they dropping their folder full of their papers. They papers flying everywhere. That happens at least once a week. You feel me? They tripping up the stairs. They missing a step. That happens every other week. You feel me? That happens every other week. You understand what I'm saying? At least once a month, they getting splashed on. Like, y'all know when it's raining and the puddles be by the curb and a bus drive through the puddles, at least once a month, they getting splashed by the bus driving through the puddle by the curb. You know what I'm saying? Or they stepping in some deep ass puddle and they got dirty water all in their shoes. So now their socks is soaking wet. That's happening at least once a month. When they interacting with other people, they real awkward. They don't know how to read the room. They don't know how to read interactions. They don't have no confidence when they interacting with you. You talking to them and it's real. It's just like it's not negative energy, but it's not positive. It's just some other realm. It's completely indifferent. It's awkward. That's all it is. It's just awkward. Like you might talk to them because they might be nice. They might be nice people. So you might, hey, how you doing? Chop it up with them a little bit, but you ain't trying to have no whole conversation with them because they give off an awkward, real awkward vibe to the point where it's uncomfortable. You feel me? Let's get a water break. They awkward to the point where it's uncomfortable for you. And yeah, they be running the class. Nigga. We in college, niggas is, bro. The amount of times I see people like sprinting to class is hilarious. Sprinting to class. But that's another topic for another day. But yeah, so we have the image of what let me put these glasses on. I'm trying to act like this light ain't hurting my eyes. And I can't see anyway. I know people be thinking these are just shades, but no, these are prescription. These are prescription. Because I'm nearsighted and my vision is very bad. So These are my prescription shades. I'll put these on for a minute. I might take them off. Um, we got the image of the nerd and the geek and how they act, how they behave. The thing that needs to be addressed is that it's the behavior that turns people off from you. It's not that you like anime. It's not that you like Pokemon. It's not that you read comic books. It's not that you read books about, you know, biology all day. It's how you behave around people. You feel me? Because let's talk about me, for example. I go to the University of Michigan. If you don't know, the University of Michigan is the #1 public school in the United States. I go to school with a bunch of rich white people and suburban black people. You know what I'm saying? The average GPA at this school is something like a 3.4, 3.5, which is very high in university. The average GPA to get into school is like a 3.8. The average SAT or ACT score, SAT score, the average score is like 1390. SAT score is like 35, not 35, but like 33. You know what I'm saying? So I go to a nerdy school. I go to a geeky school. I go to a school where it's all academia, all studies. 28 people in here. Make sure you're hitting that like button for me. You feel me? So let's talk about me. I consider myself a nerd. You feel me? I consider myself a nerd. You know, let's go through my daily life. If I'm not in class or I'm not at the gym or I'm not cooking, what am I doing? All I do is read books, watch lectures on YouTube, or watch documentaries. That's all I'm doing through the week during my daily life. Now on the weekends, and if I'm not doing YouTube, you know, if I'm not doing YouTuber, you know, hustling, making bread, all I'm doing is reading books, watching lectures on stuff I'm interested in on YouTube, or watching documentaries. You feel me? And on the weekends, you know, I go out. I like to hang out and chill. You know, I might link up with some ladies or link up with my homeboys and chill. But during the week, if I'm not doing my obligatory tasks, all I'm doing is reading books, watching documentaries, watching lectures that I want to watch. And that's how I've been my whole life. That's how I've been my entire life. I'm from the west side of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Dexter between the Boulevard and Joy Road. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Puritan and Livernois. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood. All I did when I was a kid, well, not all I did, but when I wasn't out, when I wasn't outside, or when I wasn't at school, or when I wasn't playing sports, what was I doing? I used to read the dictionary as a kid, like just read it as a book. I used to just read the dictionary. I would read the thesaurus. I would read rhyme books. You know, I would read books that give you words, and they give you this long list of like 100 words that rhyme with one word. You know what I'm saying? I played video games when I was younger. 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Uncharted, Skate 3. Uh, what else? That's all I really played for the most part. But to me, I'm a nerd. I love reading about nutrition. I love reading about anatomy. I love reading about the functions of the muscles. I love reading about psychology. I love reading about emotional intelligence. I love reading about family dynamics and how they impact you know, adolescence and growing up. I love reading about all this science and nerdy stuff, geeky stuff. You feel me? I love that kind of stuff. I used to watch the History Channel all day long when I was a kid. I used to watch the History Channel all day long, nigga, watching Pawn Stars, American Pickers, fucking Deadliest Warrior, watching all the documentaries that came on the like, bro, like I'm a nerd when it comes down to it. Everybody at this school is a nerd. Everybody at this school is a nerd, but I'm a nerd. You know what I'm saying? That's all I do. Now you might not be able to tell from the way I speak, you know, because I speak with ebonics and I speak like I have a 11th grade education, and I love to write. Like, let's talk about some of my hobbies. I'm a writer. I love to write. I love to write short stories. I've been doing that my whole life. And my writing is much more eloquent and proper than my speech. Unless I'm giving a tale that unless I'm writing a realistic fiction that resides in the hood, then I got like the Ebonics dialogue and all that kind of shit. But what do I love to? I love to write. You feel me? I love to write. I love to read about math that I will never understand. I don't know how to explain that, but I love to read about math I will never understand. Like I like to Google like an actuarial math book PDF and just read through it. You know what I'm saying? Like all kind of dumb shit, like shit I don't even understand. I'm an artist at my heart. I'm an artist. So I love to paint. You know, I haven't touched the paintbrush in a year, but when I go back home for the holiday break, I'm gonna paint a little bit. But I love to paint. You know, I dibble and dabble in poetry every now and then. I love to design. That's the first thing I wanted to do when I was a kid was be an interior designer and a fashion designer. You feel me? So I have geeky interests. I'm a nerd. I just don't look like one. I just don't sound like one. But I am a nerd. I am a nerd. Let's keep it a buck. I'm a nerd. I just don't look like one. I just don't sound like one. Nigga, Nick, bro, I used to spend hours reading a dictionary. I've read the dictionary like 12 times. When I was a kid, like when school would let out in the summertime, when I wasn't outside, you know, out in the streets, I was reading a dictionary, like a book. Like I would read it and read it. Oh, Red just reminded me. Red is in theater. I played the cello in high school. I played the cello in elementary school and high school. I was in our A orchestra, like the best orchestra at my school. You know, that's another nerdy interest. I love music. I'm a musician. I play string instruments, you know, violin, viola, cello, double bass. I'm gonna learn how to play the piano and guitar in the future, but I was a cellist, bro. I was a cellist, bro. I have pictures of me in my suits at my concerts. I was second chair, but I was a cellist, bro, and I was good. So I have nerdy interests. I'm a nerd at heart. I have geeky interests. I'm a nerd to the core. It's just that my behavior does not dictate that. The way I speak does not give that kind of energy off. A person would never look at me and be like, "Oh yeah, he a nerd." Hey, fuck this nigga. This my man's. This my man's. This my man's in real life. This nigga more of a nerd than me. This nigga is a engineer major. This nigga is an engineer. Engineer. This nigga's an engineer. I study kinesiology for y'all who don't know. I study kinesiology. This is like one of my very few friends in real life. This nigga's an engineer. So I say all that to say when nerdy people, men and women, come to me and they want to know, you know, should I tell people I like this, or should I tell people I listen to this or read this, or should I tell people I play Pokemon or play this or play Nintendo DS, or should I tell people I like to play the accordion, like all kind of shit like that. It's like you have to understand it's not about what you like. It's not about what you do. It's not about what you watch. It is about how you behave. It is about how you interact with other people in social situations. It's about how you look. It's about how you walk and talk. You understand what I'm saying? When a person walks up to you, yeah, we prejudice. We gonna assume we have assumptions on everybody we walk up to and speak to, but that's all they are is assumptions. I've known plenty people who gave off the nerdy geeky vibe, but they weren't even geeky or nerdy. They weren't even geeky or nerdy, but they gave off the vibe. Like they wore the messed up clothes. They had the thick ass glasses. They walk with the shitty posture. They was clumsy as hell. So it wasn't about what they liked. It was about the energy that they carried. The struggle speaking different languages. All the bilingual ladies have a soft spot in my heart. I'm gonna just say that out loud. All the bilingual ladies have a soft spot in my heart. Um, I want to learn how to speak a different language so bad, and I'm gonna do it. I just got to get around to it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get around to it. But all the bilingual ladies, y'all got a soft spot in my heart. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna lie. But back to the topic at hand. I knew nerdy or geeky people who weren't even nerds or geeks. It was just the way that they dressed and the way they walked around and the way they looked. You feel me? Cause like y'all were here when I broke down the the look of the nerd or the geek. Y'all were there. Well, some of y'all might not have been, but y'all were there. We all talked about what they look like, all the clumsy shit that they do, dropping their books, running to class, getting splashed on by the bus, driving through the puddle by the curb. You know what I'm saying? It's about how they navigate life. So, is it harder for nerdy or geeky people to date? I think if you're a nerdy person or a geeky person, the answer is yes. I'm gonna say yes. Because I'm not a nerdy or a geeky person, but I am a nerd. My nigga Anthony is not a nerdy or a geeky person, but he's a fucking nerd. You feel me? It's the archetype of the nerd and the geek. Why is it harder for them to date? Because for one, it's the way they look, right? And I say this with all respect. You know, it's plenty of nerds and geeks out there who find love and find people they spend the rest of their life with. You know what I'm saying? I wish that on everybody. They find a man or a woman who just love they swag and they like this. They inseparable. But why it can be very hardy for nerdy or geeky people to date? It's because first, your appearance. You know, I know we all like to say that we don't judge people by the first when we look at them. I know we all like to say we not prejudiced and all this and that, but we are. We humans. Being judgmental is a defense mechanism to know who and what you're dealing with. So don't be reluctant to say you judgmental because we all are. When you look at somebody who has that nerdy or the geeky swag, that's not really swag at all. When you look at somebody who looks like a nerd or a geek, that's the first thing that'll draw a lot of people off. Not everybody, some people like it, but that's the first thing that'll draw a lot of people away. You know, for me as a man, if I see a nerdy chick, it's just not my kind of cup of tea. You know, that's a different kind of cloth that I'll leave for some of my brothers who like the nerdy looking chicks. I don't like nerdy looking chicks. I don't like the geeky looking chicks. That's just me. That's just not my cup of tea. You know, I save them for the brothers who really like that nerdy, geeky look. But I do like women who are nerds. I love women who are nerds. You know, be a nerd, but I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love that. Be a nerd. I just don't want to see it. Be a nerd. I just don't want to see it. Because that means you have interests that I probably don't, that are probably completely foreign to me. Probably completely foreign to me. Like I know a lot of chicks at the school who are engineers. You would never look at them and think, oh, she an engineer. Or studying engineering, rather. That's what I should say, studying to become engineers. I know a lot of chicks whose majors are engineers, civil engineer, marine engineer, um, aerospace engineer, all kind of freaky smart shit that I don't understand. But when you can't tell from the outside, they just nerds in here. When they just nerds in here, that's sexy as hell to me. And now let me time out and say I'm not saying that I think all chicks who study engineering are sexy. I'm just saying as an example. Like it's a lot of chicks who study all that smart shit, but they don't look like that smart shit. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Learning, yeah, chicks who know how to code, chicks who computer engineering, all them they study like C plus plus and Python and all that coding language. I don't know shit about no coding. I don't know shit about no engineering. They be doing Calc 3, 4, and 5, and 12. I stopped Calc at Calc 1. Now, do I love math? Yes. But math is time consuming. If I don't gotta take that shit, I ain't taking it. I'm more of a sciencey dude. I'm more of an Englishy dude. I love math though. Math is always gonna have a soft spot in my heart. So that's the thing with the nerdy or the geeky. It's not about what you like or what you do. It's about how you look and how you behave socially. You feel me? What's my opinion on girls who are gamer or women who are gamers rather? Play your game, sis. Play your game, sis. Play your games, sis. I'm not a gamer myself, and that's not it's funny because I love video games, but I'm not a gamer. And I'm not a gamer because I have an addictive personality. So I'm not the type of dude who could say, I'm gonna just hop on the game for an hour, 2 hours. No, when I hop on the game, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. That's just how it is. Back when 2K11 was, bro, I used to play 2K11 for 12, 13 hours straight. I used to play Skate 3 for 10, 12 hours straight. You feel me? That's just how I am. And I'm overly competitive. So I'm a control twister. I break controllers. I throw controllers. I punch walls. Video video games just get me in a whole different mode. You can ask my man's Anthony, who was in the chat. When we play Madden, we be at his crib playing Madden or 2K. I don't even be trying, bro. Because I know if I try, I'm going to get heated. You feel me? I could tell she is smarter now by challenging her mind. Exactly. And it's different kinds of smart. Like I said, I go to the University of Michigan. Everybody at this school is smart. That's everybody on this school is smart as hell. Probably smarter than me. But it's different kinds of smart. There's academically smart or studiously smart, and then there's smart when it comes to, I'm gonna say this. The difference between the smarts, there's good students. There's some people who are good students. And then there's some people who are smart. To me, that's two different things. Because I know people who, they're very good students. If they have a teacher or a professor and the professor throw a book at their face and say, read this whole thing and write me a 12-page, double-spaced paper with at least 35 APA references on it about such and such, they could do that in 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? To me, yeah, they smart, but I consider them more of a student than being smart. A smart chick, and I say all that to say, I know a lot of chicks who were great students, but they not that smart. Great students, but they not that smart. I love the chicks who were smart, meaning that they like to learn. They love to learn, not just in class or in lecture or learning something that they have to learn for a grade or for a course, but like to learn outside of life. Them the kind of chicks I like to mess with. Let me keep strolling through this chat. What's up, Asia? How you doing? Math over science. I feel you. I love both. I love math and I love English and I love science if it interests me. If the science is not some science I'm interested in, I don't give a damn. Did I play sports growing up? I was an athlete all my life. Basketball, football, baseball, boxing, track and field, even though I hated it, track and field. I played almost all the sport. I think the only sport I didn't play was soccer and like some of the, more quote unquote white sports like lacrosse or like golf or stuff like that. But I was an athlete growing up. And I'm still an athlete. I still consider myself an athlete. I pride myself on staying athletic, as athletic as I want to be. You feel me? So said you a horrible English student, but you have all B's and A's in your other classes. That's funny. Because to me, I've never known how somebody couldn't pass English. But that's when I knew I was just really good at it. I've always been really good at English, writing stories, writing research papers, uh, thesis, analysis. I've just always been good at writing. But all my life, I used to be like, how do you fail English? You just write. But that's just when I knew I was really good at writing. Everybody ain't good at writing. Some people look at me and be like, how do you fail chemistry? I never failed chemistry, but I hated chemistry. It was boring. It's like stoichiometry and all that shit. But when it comes to dating, especially in the Black community, right? We're going to talk about the Black community for a minute. If you Black, you know where I'm going with this. The nerdy, geeky aesthetic is not accepted with us. I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm saying that's how we feel as a collective. The whole nerdy, geeky thing is not, that ain't us. That ain't us for the most part. I'm saying the look, the aesthetic. You feel me? Like, in the white community, they could go to like like cosplay events or like the comic book events or like Comic-Con, stuff like that. But Black people, we don't do that kind of stuff. And like I said, I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm saying that's how that's what history has shown me that we as Black people feel. So in the Black community, it's especially more difficult for the nerdy or the geeky people to date, especially if they don't like other geeky or nerdy people. And that's a big problem, is a lot of the nerdy or geeky men and women aren't attracted to the other nerdy or geeky men and women. The nerdy geeky men still want the chick with the fat ass who could suck the skin off a dick. You know what I'm saying? And the nerdy chick still want, the Black man. I'm gonna just say it like that. I'm gonna just say the Black man. The stereotypical Black man, I should say, is what I mean to say. You know what I'm saying? They still want the stereotypical Black man. And so they aren't typically attracted to each other. And that's where the conflict lies. Because like I said earlier, it's plenty of nerdy chicks and nerdy dudes out here who they find them another nerdy or geeky opposite sex, and they live happily ever after. They play their video games together and they read their comic books together and they play Pokemon together. They play they play their Nintendo Switches together. That's what they do, you know. But that's a rarity. For the vast majority of the nerdy or the geeky people who have the nerdy geeky aesthetic, it's not easy for them to date, especially in the Black community. You already heard from me. I'm not attracted to the nerdy or geeky looking chicks. Y'all just heard me say I love when a chick is a nerd, but I don't see it. If I wouldn't look at her and say, damn, she a nerd, but then when I start talking to her, I'm like, damn, this chick, like, she knows stuff. She knows shit. This chick is a nerd. That's sexy to me. That's for me. And I want to talk about where that nerdy or geeky aesthetic comes from. Because don't nothing just come out of nowhere. Everything comes from something. So we're going to talk about where that aesthetic comes from and where the behavior comes from. So the aesthetic, 9 times out of 10, nerdy and geeky men and women had nerdy and geeky parents. That's where they got the aesthetic from. Or what I saw was common amongst the nerdy or geeky men and women was like they might have been raised by their grandparents or something like that. But a lot of them, if they are raised by their parents, a lot of them had geeky or nerdy parents. And so that's where they got their swag from. The flooding pants, the wrinkled pants, the big ass clunky old man Nike Monarch shoes. You feel what I'm saying? It's that's the kind of swag that's highly rejected in the Black community. You know what I'm saying? That's where the girls get, just slicking their hair back with no part and putting it in a ponytail with a pink rubber plastic headband on it. No part. No part. She slicked her edges back with the ponytail. She ain't even got the edges looking cute and swirly or cute and slick back. No, she slicked the edges back with the ponytail. Put some of that Cream of Nature edge control on there. Slicked it all back. All of it. That bitch tight too. No part in the middle though. It ain't no part nowhere in her head. It's just hair. You feel me? Do I think it has anything to do with it being the only child? It could be. Well, actually, no, I don't think so. Because I was the only child. And y'all see me. But I think it comes from having nerdy and geeky parents. That's where I think the nerdy aesthetic comes from, or growing up with their grandparents. So, like, you know how grandparents dress for us. You know, they wear the flannels tucked into their khakis with a brown leather belt, with the giant Nike Monarchs because they thick and comfortable because they need the orthopedic sneakers. You feel me? That's they old. They're elders, so they need more comfortable, accommodating clothes. But you know, the old people stay fresh all the time. Old people wear jeans in the house. So that's where a lot of the nerds and the geeks got their aesthetic from as well. Now, as far as the behavior comes from never coming outside. You feel me? It ain't no other explanation other than that. The behavior comes from never coming outside. The nerdy and geeky behavior, the antisocial behaviors, the social awkwardness, the timidness, the socially reserved behavior. You know what I'm saying? That comes from never coming outside. Because if you grew up like, if you had any kind of life besides school, or if you just had a very prosperous social life in school, then you're not going to be socially awkward. You're not going to be socially awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I had a good social life in school, and I had not a social life, but I was outside too. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, I rolled with the nerds. Like in middle school, I rolled with the nerds on purpose because the nerds were drama free. And I didn't have to go through hoops to stay their friends. All the nerds wanted me to do was be around, and I loved them. You know, sometimes I have a man's who sometimes he watch my channel and nerdy as fuck, geeky as hell. You would look at me and him and be like, I know y'all ain't never spoke a day in your life. I know y'all don't even probably like each other. But that's my homie. That's my man's from middle school. You feel me? I roll with the nerds in middle school. I was always the dude who was cool with everybody. I was cool with the popular kids, the nerds, the jocks, the niggas who was, I was cool with the drug dealers and the scammers and all that. I was cool with everybody because that's how I always been. It's like, I don't know. That's just how I always been. Excuse me. I need some balm on my lips. I got these big ass pink lips and shit. They gotta look good. Free plug. Not sponsored. That's just how much I love these niggas. Burst Bees. Where we at? Get you some of that. But the antisocial behaviors come from never coming outside. See, I hate. Let me chill. Let me relax. I was about to go in on this nigga right here because he talking that bullshit. Actually, let me take my glasses off. I was about to go in on this nigga right here because he was talking that bullshit. But I understand he's not socially aware and he's immature. So he's not capable of, saying what he wanted to say in a mature way, in an adult way, in the way that a grown man would articulate that sentence. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna block him from my channel. I'm gonna let him live. I'm gonna let him live. I ain't gonna block him from my channel just keep saying some bullshit. I'm gonna let him learn. Because he has some learning to do. Oh, you used to sell snacks? I didn't sell snacks. That's the funny part. Never sold snacks. Never sold snacks. I was just cool. Like I was just chill. And I was an athlete. You know what I'm saying? I was an athlete and or just played sports. So I was the dude who could kick it with the nerds in the hallway and then skip my lunch period and go hoop in the gym with the hoopers and the football players. You know what I'm saying? That was me. But that Mo nigga really threw me off. I let him throw me off saying that bullshit. But the antisocial behaviors just come from not being outside. And that's where the lack of social awareness comes from. That's why they don't know how to read people. They don't know how to read a room. They don't know how to articulate their thoughts in a way that's going to make people want to have conversations with them. You ever have conversations with a nerdy or a geeky guy or a girl, and it's just like you could tell they uncomfortable with themselves. Like they're uncomfortable sitting in this spot conversing with you. Like they don't really know what to say. They don't really know how to say it. But they just, they getting words out, but it's like trying to dig a hole. Like you picking tooth and nail, trying to get them to have a smooth conversation. That comes from a lack of experience in the social world. You understand what I'm saying? And that's where the root of a lot of these problems come from. So when it comes to dating, especially in the Black community, but when it comes to dating in general, if you don't got no social skills, you SOL. Shit out of luck. You out of luck if you don't have no social skills. Because if you don't have no social skills, how you gonna talk to the opposite sex and be sexually attractive to them to make that want to roll into, getting sex or going on dates or having a boyfriend or a girlfriend? If you don't have social skills, social awareness, if you ain't even comfortable with yourself when you around other people. Excuse me. Let me put my glasses back on so I can read this chat. Oh yeah, WWE. Man, listen. I was a WWE fiend. I had all the action figures. I had all the little rings. I had the Elimination Chamber toy ring. I had the Hell in a Cell. I had the table ladders and chairs kit. I had a Raw and SmackDown ring and an ECW ring. I had about 40 or 50 of the action figures. Edge, John Cena, Umaga. I had Viscera and Vito. I had Shad and JTG. Rest in peace. I went through that, man. WWE was hard as hell. Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Johnny Nitro, who was then known as John Morrison. We all had that. But I'm going to drop the link in the chat if anybody wants to cam up. You know what I'm saying? Just in case. Just because I said I would earlier. Where is my... Hold up. See, that's why I need to move this monitor. If anybody want to beam up, y'all can. Ain't no pressure. Let me refocus my camera. So yeah, man. A lot of the nerdy dudes and a lot of the nerdy chicks don't like each other. They're not attracted to each other. They're not attracted to each other. And that's where the problem lies. What's good, Sharif? Let's get my boy Red in the building. Let me fix my audio real quick.
What's up?
What up, man? What's the word?
What up, man? I just dropped the video while I was listening to you. That's what I'll be doing half the time, man. I just finished the interview with the club. Shout out to him. Man, I've just been grinding ever since, man. I mean, the thing about nerds, man, I'm one of them. I'm not saying I didn't grow out of it. I just upped the game a little bit. The thing about being a nerd is that a lot of people don't know how to up their game on it. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm not saying that I was like one of those good nerds, like, oh, I was in the house. Nah, man, I was making money off of people, man. I said it in the chat. I was making bread off these I was making bread off of motherfuckers, man. Like I was in high school, like I was doing it all, man. But I mean, I was in a different that was a different time, you know. I was smoking weed and all that stuff. So, I mean, I was also in the stage crew, but I made so much bread when I was in high school. I just spent it all. I was one of
Yeah,
those people, man. And then in college, man, I was doing underground like essay work, and I almost got expelled for it.
damn.
But dude, the bread I was making on that, man, the bread
Oh,
I
I'm
was
sure.
making, I
I'm
was
sure.
like, I was like, oh man, I was like, yo, 200. I no, because I was charging 200 an essay. Like real talk, I was charging 200 an essay because there was no way in hell I was like people said, oh, can you do this for 150? It's either 150 or you're giving up the ass. And I said
Yeah.
200 or the ass, man. Like, because like you know, like women don't. You know, I'm not saying like because I know there are women in here. I'm saying like certain women that you know they chose partying over actually doing their essays, and me personally, I was like, yo, like look, listen, we can either settle something and or you're paying $200, and I wasn't settling for like no less than 200. But even so, I was like, yo, bro, like I was making bread, but I almost got expelled for it, so you know, I had to stop. But would I do it again? Yes, I would.
Yeah. So
You
see,
know?
like you didn't have that stereotypical geek look
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
that stereotypical nerd look. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you had the nerdy interests or you did the nerdy things, but you didn't have the look.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Right.
it's one of those things in which you know, like yeah, I get it. You know, people see nerds as you know like the timid people and stuff like that. And yeah, I know a lot of guys that were nerds, and they were typically the timid types, and they found their happily ever after. You know, me personally, I was a dork, I was a nerd, but I was also a hustler too, man. I cared more about the money. I cared more about getting the connections and stuff like that than like trying to be a nerd, right? I was in jazz ensemble, but you know, I was playing bass. I was making connections. Same thing with theater. I was doing that for the connections. I was doing that for money. Any way I can make money, any way I can establish myself, I wanted to do it.
Yeah. See that, and that's what I was talking about with myself. Like I'm a nerd. All I do is read and watch documentaries. I played cello in high school.
Mhm.
Fucking when I was a kid, I used to read the dictionary front to back and then reread it. Same. I used to read the sources. I used to read rhyme books. I used to read all kind of shit. I used to pick up quantum physics books and have no idea what it meant, but just read it because it was some science. Like that's just what I did, and that's what I do. But it's drilling into the nerdy or the geeky people who have trouble with dating is that it's not what you like or do, it's about how you look and how you behave.
Mhm.
You know, all those antisocial behaviors, all that social awkwardness, all that not when you don't look like you keep yourself together.
Oh
You
yeah. Oh no no
when I
no
was
no.
describing the nerd, it's like, you know, you got your collar hella tight, your pants is flooded, you got on dirty white socks, and you know, like you clumsy, you dropping shit. It's like it's the way that you look and the way you behave. You
No,
feel
no, no,
me?
no. Yeah, no, no, no. I know what you mean. Yeah. Um, what I'll say to that is, you always gotta look good as a nerd. Yeah, listen, I know nerds don't look good, but you gotta smell good, man. You gotta like nowadays, you have no excuse, right? You know, we got Kevin Samuels walking up in this motherfucker. So you gotta like all right, guys can call him whatever he wants. Guy has the look and everything. He looks like a nerd. But yo, that's the best looking nerd I've seen so far. And yeah, look, listen, I got polo shirts, I got shirts, I got button up shirts for days, man. Like I do not walk out of this house, you know, look at I mean, I don't walk I mean sometimes I walk out bumming, but like all like if I'm gonna be around women and I know I want a woman today, I'm gonna look a certain way, I'm gonna smell a certain way so that I can acquire what I want. Because like at the end of the day, I know what I want, and I know I'm a nerd, but I know what I want, and I'm gonna get it any way I see fit.
Exactly. You look respectable when you leave the house.
Yeah,
That's what it is. You look respectable. You look clean. You look like you woke up and took care of yourself. You actually washed your ass and brushed your teeth and washed your face and put on some clean clothes.
yeah.
You know, the thing I see common with the nerdy looking people or the geeky looking people, the thing I see common with them is that it's something wrong with the aesthetic. You know, it's something off. Something looks like they parents still dress them, or like they dress like they 80 years old, you know. And that's for the nerdy look, the geeky look, you know. Like I said earlier, the look is separate from the interest. Now they can be together, but plenty of people like you and I, we have the nerdy and geeky interests, but we don't look like the nerds or the geeks. It's people who look like nerds and geeks who aren't even nerds or geeks. They just have that stereotypical appearance. And that's what I was talking about, was just to differentiate the two, because that's where the misconception lies. Is, you know, you probably get dudes ask you, oh, should I tell a chick I like anime, or should I tell a chick I watch Dragon Ball Z, or should I tell a chick I read comic books? And it's like, bro, it's not about what you read. It's not about what you watch or play. Who are you? How do you behave? Can you talk to this woman? You feel me?
I will say this, man. Like, am I self-conscious about her knowing that I play video games, or do I play this and that? Fuck no. You want to know the reason why? Because I don't care exactly what she's thinking about. You know, what I care about is how I present myself to her. Right? That's what I care about. If she doesn't like what I like, all right, then that's not the one for me. I'll go find someone else who likes my interests. And that's just the thing about it, man. It's like you gotta like you gotta you gotta be interesting, man. A lot of nerds are not interesting. They think that they are interesting because they play a certain video game or they read a certain comic book. But that doesn't make you interesting as a person. Like, yeah, like you gotta have certain things about you. The way that I've always seen it is that, you know, I look, all right, maybe, okay, it's going to sound really delusional, but women were attracted to me, right? Because I looked good, because I was about something, you know what I'm saying? I was touring at that. Like, if I wasn't sitting here with you, man, I was touring. You know, I was in Connecticut with Maury Povich. I was with Jerry Springer at a certain time. I was in CBS in New York, ABC for a certain amount of time. I can tell a woman that, like, look, listen, I'm an everywhere dude. I don't just stay in one place.
Exactly. And Jesus Christ, I don't know what's going on in my kitchen. But it's also about being interested, like you just said, being interesting. Chicks will like your nerdy interest or your geeky interest as long as it comes in a good looking package. You know, if you're a respectable looking guy, you look clean, you look like you wash your ass and put on clean clothes, and you don't have this hunched over posture and you socially awkward, you could tell a chick you like Dragon Ball Z, and if she interested in you, she gonna be like, "Oh, what's that? I ain't never watched that. Let's watch that." Or you tell her, "Oh, I read comic books." She might walk in your room and she picking it up and looking in it like, "What is this?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like when I tell chicks I read the dictionary like it's a fucking book, they get interested in that, even though it sounds weird. It's just like, why does he do that? Like what? And that means he knows stuff. That means he knows stuff. When I tell chicks outside of class, I'm watching lectures on things I'm actually interested in and taking notes like it's a class I'm taking, they get interested in that. Even though it's a nerdy thing, they get interested in that. You know, it's about having an interesting side to you and knowing things and looking clean. You got to wrap it all around.
yeah,
And then just like Ryan said, women love learning from dudes too. That's one of the main things that chicks like about me is I know stuff. I know a lot of random ass shit because that's all I did when I was younger is read and watch documentaries. And I could teach a chick some stuff, whether it's about herself or about something random. Like I remember I was out with this chick. We was out at nighttime downtown. You know how they have like the giant spotlights on top of the buildings that you could see like in the distance?
Yeah.
And real randomly, like we got really close to one that was on the ground. And I was like, I wonder how many lumens is coming out of that spotlight. Like I just said that out thinking out loud. I said, I wonder how many lumens is coming out of that spotlight. She said, how many what? I said, lumens. She's like, what are lumens? I'm like, you don't know what lumens are? She's like, no, I never heard of lumens. I'm like, well, basically lumens in layman's terms is how you measure the brightness or dimness of a light. So like a flashlight, you might have a 2000 lumen flashlight or a 10,000 lumen flashlight. And she loved that. She was very interested in that. She started asking me all these questions. I'm like, I don't know. I just know the word lumens. I don't build flashlights or no shit like that. But she got interested in that because I was able to teach her something in that moment that she didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you got plenty of moments where you slick taught a girl something that she didn't know and it made her more interested.
Oh yeah, no, I taught a girl about she didn't know an elbow from an elbow, man. She didn't, and I'm not saying that because she was dumb. I'm just saying that because like when she asked me all these questions, she asked me like 24 questions about, oh, how do you do sound? Like how do you? I said, you really want to sit here and talk about that? Like there's honestly all like in everything that we've been doing together, you really want to talk about sound? And I just sat there and I started talking about, all right, well, here, I'm going to teach you about sound. And I taught her, all right, look, sit down. And I taught her about resonance. And I taught her about gain. I taught her about how to cook up some stuff. And literally as we speak, the girl that we were, the girl I was bunker bustering, like literally is doing music right now. And she does, I mean, she does it pretty well. I'm like, all right, look, listen, I mean, I taught her something. She learned from me. We were bunker bustering at a time. And now she's doing music. So I'm like, hey, look, listen. Hey, look, listen. I taught her some stuff. You know?
Yeah, like when you have nerdy interests, when you know quote unquote nerdy things, that'll spark a woman's interest up tremendously. And like you said, she asked you, "Can you teach me?" It's like part of that. She probably didn't even think for real she was gonna really be paying attention and learn something that was gonna benefit her. A lot of times they just want to hear you talk about something that you know. You know, like I made the video a couple days ago about intellectual charisma. They just want to hear you talk about something that you're interested in. They might not really give a fuck at all, but they just want to hear you talk about it. Or like when a chick will see you in your element. You know what I'm saying? Like if a chick were to see you on your theater setup while you setting up a stage presence, you know what I'm saying? You in your element. That's what you do. Or if a chick saw me in the gym or writing a program or writing a short story or playing a cello, that's my element. They just want to see me in that element. You know what I'm saying?
I don't bring women to shows anymore because they be asking me way too many questions about the spectacle, how I put it on. I'm like, damn, like I bring it to like every woman that I've ever met is like, oh, I've been so into theater, and I'm like, fuck, can't meet a girl that is not into theater. Damn it, like I'm like, well, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I've worked on many theater shows, and she's like, really, what's the show? I said, damn it. Then I give her the resume. And I've showed. I remember a girl that like really was into no, it wasn't Hamilton. It was Kinky Boots. Yeah, I remember because I did Kinky Boots at a time, man. And I was like, damn, this woman like really likes Kinky Boots. So I bought her around, and this was like an off Broadway thing. I bought her around all the cast and crew and stuff like that. And she was like, "What are you, A2 or A1?" I was like, "Okay, first off, I'm A1. All right." I was doing some A1 work, and it was less like all the questions and all that stuff. I was like, "Oh, bro, I don't even like talking about this. I don't like to be reminded about work."
Yeah, bro. And that's the thing I have to tell dudes when they ask stuff like, should I tell a chick I like Dragon Ball Z or should I tell a chick I watch? It's like, bro, the fact that you asking that tells me that it's something wrong with the way you are socially and or your appearance.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because when a chick likes the way you look and she has interest in you simply based off your look or seeing you do something, she'll find a way to be interested in what you interested in. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? I got plenty homies that watch Dragon Ball Z, plenty of them. And they'll tell me like, you know, they went on a date with a chick and they brought her home and, you know, they started talking and he said he watched Dragon Ball Z and she was like, oh, what is that? Let's watch that. That's anime? What is anime? Let me see. What is it? And they fucking sat up and watched anime and watched what's the shit? Like Cowboy Bebop. They watching Cowboy Bebop and Dragon Ball Z. And I'm like, see, that's the thing. It's just you have to be a clean looking man first. Be
yeah.
a socially interactive man first. They'll find ways to be interested in your interests.
Hell, I got a woman to give me. I remember in college, I got a woman that literally gave me the throat, and while I got to actually let her watch Lupin the Third, I got her interested in me and Lupin the Third. So that was, those were the days, man. But I mean, I'm a different type of dude, you know what I'm saying? But all right, man, I'm gonna catch you later, man. I'm gonna catch you later.
Peace, Red. We'll chop it up soon.
All right,
Sunday.
man.
We'll be
See you.
chopping it up
Yeah,
Sunday.
Sunday, man.
Yep. But yeah, as y'all know, that was Red Sings the Blues, friend of the channel. Always welcome on the channel. And we will be doing another Young Men with Attitude panel on Sunday about where our money should go. So make sure y'all tune into that. I will have the live on my community tab when we first drop the little thumbnail about that. But what's my nigga Anthony saying? It's crazy because I love a woman that could teach me something as well. We're so interested in something as nerdy looking. Yeah, bro. That shit is sexy as hell to me. When a chick could talk to me about something I ain't never heard about or understood. Because it's very few things that a chick could tell me that I haven't at least heard about. But when she could talk about it and like get me privy to some understanding about something that I ain't never really understood, that's very sexy to me. No matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was weird one time. I was in class and I told you I go to school with a bunch of rich white people. I was in class one day and I was partnered with this white chick for an assignment. And she was cute, nothing crazy, like just cute little white chick. But we had some like free time, like at the end of class, because we weren't gonna start working on a project till the next week. So we were just talking. And she plays polo. And if y'all don't know what polo is, I'm sure you know what Ralph Lauren is. It's the sport where they ride horses and they like hit balls across a field. And I don't know how the game works, but she played polo. That's a rich sport too. Like you gotta have a rich family to play polo because them horses, it's all kind of crazy shit. But she played polo. And we started talking about polo. And she's like teaching me about the game. And like that was very attractive to me. And like I said, she was cute. She wasn't nothing crazy, pretty little white chick, but that was very attractive to me. She was teaching me about polo. I'm not saying that's something nerdy, but the fact that she knew about something and could put me privy to something, you know what I'm saying? Because it's very unattractive to me when me and a chick are out and talking and like she don't have no hobbies or interests. She don't have no hobbies or interests except the things that everybody else does. You know what I'm saying? That's very unattractive to me because then we not talking about nothing. I could talk to you, but can you talk to me about something? Can you put me privy to something? Can you put me hip to something? And if the answer is no, then it's like, okay, we already on completely different pages. You feel me? We already on different pages. Yeah, especially when she passionate about it, bro. Especially when she passionate about it. And it don't really matter what it is. I just like to know that a chick she got interests. She has hobbies. She has little nerdy things she interested in. I remember I was talking to this one chick and she was interested in like card magic tricks. Like card magic tricks. And when I tell you, you would look at her and think she was like an Instagram thought or some shit. Like I ain't lying. You would think she was an Instagram thought or something. But we got to know each other and she was interested in like, how they make the cards go invisible with the fingers and shit, like magic card tricks. Like I don't know how she got into that, but it's stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. You feel me? Where we at? 118. I ain't gonna drag this topic no longer. Y'all know how I do. Q&A session. You feel me? So if any of the 22 people watching, if y'all got questions or anything, y'all could throw them at me. You feel me? Throw them at your boy. About anything. Questions, statements you want me to talk about, just throw them at me. You know what I'm saying? And if it ain't no questions, we'll tune off. And then if there are, I answer them till they run out. You feel me? Within reason, of course. Within reason, of course. It is Friday night, about to be midnight. I ain't trying to be on here till 2 in the morning. You feel me? But like I said, Q&A session, per usual. Y'all know I do this at the end of every live stream. Y'all got anything y'all want me to talk about or ask? And let me make sure I didn't pass up no questions in the chat. And make sure I didn't pass up no questions in the chat. Scroll up. That's a good question. Have you guys ever gotten comments about talking or sounding proper? I know Red has said he has. He's had people comment about how he talks proper. With me, the answer is no. With me, the answer is no. I don't even talk proper. My mouth don't even work that way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess I could if I tried, but I've never tried. Like I've always been me. I don't care if it's a. Well, let me take that back. Do I try to speak with more enunciation when I'm talking to strangers? Yes, but like I don't have a white voice. You know what I'm saying? I don't have like a white voice or a corporate voice. It's just when I'm speaking to strangers, I do speak with a little more enunciation, a little less slang, less colloquialisms. You know what I'm saying? But I've never, because I don't talk proper, I've never had a person tell me I talk proper. You know, if anything, it was the opposite. You know, when I first came to my campus, it would be a lot of chicks, most 99%, it was usually white chicks who would say, I love your accent or I love the way you talk. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, because to me, this is just how people speak. But they'd be, I love your accent or I love, like, where are you from? Like, I'm from Detroit, you know, like 45 minutes away. They'd be like, wow, I love the way you speak. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, thanks. You know, so if anything, I've gotten the opposite. You know, I don't talk proper. I don't plan to either. Call me a Negro, but that's just me. That's part of my swag is the way I speak, my speech. Who was my favorite WWE wrestler, John Cena or Jeff Hardy, for sure. I know I sound like a hype beast, but John Cena or Jeff Hardy. Those some people who are in the planets. Hey, well, does that count as astronomy, or is astronomy more broad than planets? But hey, if you in the planets, you in the planets. I was very into planets when I was young. I remember I had saved up money to buy an astronomy textbook. Well, it wasn't astronomy. It was a book on our solar system. It was like $40. It was like a real textbook. I had to be like 10 or 11. And I used to read about all the planets. Jupiter was my favorite planet, you know, because it's got the eye and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I messed with planets all the time when I was little. You know, I remember when they first told us Pluto wasn't a planet no more. You know what I'm saying? Pluto isn't a planet. Why? Because it's made of ice. It's like, yeah, if you in the planets, that's cool. You know, if a chick was able to talk to me about some planets, that'd be sexy to me. You know what I'm saying? That'd be sexy to me. As long as she looked good too. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been saying, I like a chick who's a nerd up here. I just don't have to see it. If I look at her and I would never think she nerdy or got some nerd in her, and I start talking to her and I'm like, damn, this chick knows something. That's sexy to me. You feel me? And I think that's because that's how I am. A person would never look at me and think I'm a nerd. You know, in my where I go to school, you know, if I go out in some chill clothes, people would think I'm a hoodlum or something. You know, but you know, that's they ain't never talked to me or nothing. So it's like, hey, you know, that's what I like in women. I think because that's how I am myself. You feel me? Who's my favorite author and what is my favorite book? That is a good question. My favorite author. That's a good question. Um, damn, my favorite author. I can't. Well, I can't even tell you my favorite book. I think my favorite book, because I got different books for different genres. Like my favorite fiction book is Fahrenheit 451. You know, call me a high schooler, but I love Fahrenheit 451. But I also love The Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? I love The Alchemist, Fahrenheit 451. But I also love books like Emotional Intelligence by uh is it John Goldman or James Goldman? Can't remember. But I also love books like Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. Like I like educational books. I like fiction, realistic fiction books. So I don't really have a favorite author. That's a good question. I might have to think about that tonight. Actually, I think my favorite author is myself. You know, I'm a writer. I'm my favorite author. I love rereading my stories. I can reread my stories all day. He said it's more stronger speaking about it makes me feel weird, out of place. So I really just can't get in tune into the community on YouTube. Hey, that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? That is a little bit off kilter of a subject, just bring up. But I fuck with astronomy. I was real big on astronomy when I was a kid. I think when I was 12, no, not 12, much younger. When I was like 8, I wanted to be an astronaut for like a year. That faded away, but I wanted to be an astronaut for like a year. Do I know any AKAs at UMich? Man, so like 29 of them just crossed like yesterday. So, I mean, now I know like, I don't know, 10 or 15 AKAs now, because I knew a whole lot of them that crossed yesterday. So I know a lot of AKAs at UMich, yeah, whole lot of them. Girls trip out when you tell them you have no social media. Yeah, they probably do. I can imagine. I mean, I would look at somebody kind of, well, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't look sideways, but I think I would think differently about that if somebody said they ain't have no social media. Like, it's 2020, bro. Like, but I'm not. I understand for sure if somebody has no social media. Whatever a person want to do, that's what they want to do. But I'd be like, oh wow, okay, no social media. That's interesting. That would definitely pique interest in me. I'll say that it would pique my interest if somebody said they had no social media. Because I don't know anybody with no social media. And the guys I know of who don't have social media, I don't really know them like that. So, I don't really, but I understand. Do I watch sports? What are my favorite teams? So I don't watch sports like that just because it take up too much time. But I do love sports. My favorite basketball team is the Lakers because I'm a LeBron fan. I do love the Lakers as a team. I love Anthony Davis. I love the whole squad. But recently, and I mean they got cats like Marc Gasol now, you know what I'm saying? So Lakers will probably be my favorite NBA team. When it comes to NFL, I don't watch football because it take too much time. But I really do enjoy watching the Ravens. I really enjoy watching the Steelers, of course. I really enjoy watching the Saints. Like when I'm watching highlights and stuff like that, the Seahawks, you know what I'm saying? We need to know about music taste too. I know for sure that classical and rapper up there. I'm a hip hop fiend. I'm a hip hop fiend. I'm a hip hop enthusiast, to say the least. And I'm not one of them old, like, oh, old rap is the best. I'm not one of them type burger ass niggas. I hate niggas like that. I listen to all of it. I listen to all. I listen to A Tribe Called Quest, and I listen to Playboy Cardi. I listen to Lil Uzi, and I listen to Brand Nubian. I listen to Black Thought, and then I listen to Gunna and Young Thug. Like, I listen to all hip hop. I listen to 3 6 Mafia, then I'm listening to ASAP Mob. You feel me? I listen to a TDE mashup, and then I'm gonna listen to De La Soul. I'm gonna listen to KRS-One, then I'm gonna listen to, I don't know who else. NBA Youngboy. Like, I listen to all hip hop. I listen to all hip hop. You feel me? I might do a live one day about hip hop, just talking about hip hop, because I'm a hip hop enthusiast. Like people be saying, oh, they love rapper, but they only listen to like 5 artists. Like, no, I listen. I think I listen to everything dating back to 85. You know what I'm saying? What's another music genre I mentioned? Funk. I love funk music, or like soul music, like that 60s and 70s. Love like that 60s, 70s funk, soul. Some of my favorites are like Roy Ayers, Ubiquitous, Marvin Gaye, of course, the Al Greens. I really like James Brown. Just that era, you know. Slave, you know what I'm saying? Just that whole era. I'm really interested in funk, in classical. Yeah, I love classical music as well. I love my Vivaldis and my Beethovens and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been catfished by chicks with makeup? Yes. Well, no, let me take that back. Catfished as in Like I thought they looked one way, went out with them, and then seen them with no makeup, and it was like, damn, you a whole different bitch. No, because I've always been cautious of makeup. I've always known how artistic and how much of an enhancement makeup is. So since I was young, I was always like, if I can't seriously date a chick until I seen her with no makeup. You know what I'm saying? That's how I always been since I was young. So I've never gotten catfished by a chick with makeup, but there's been chicks who, I see them around, they wear full faces of makeup every day, and then one day I see them with no makeup, and I'm like, whoa, like, excuse me, bitch. Like, is that you? Is that the same person? It is a funny story. It was this one time I was going to class. I was on my campus going to class, and I kept hearing my name, like Chris, Chris, Chris. I'm like, what the hell? And so I look, and I'm like, I see the chick calling my name, but I couldn't tell who she was. So I was confused. So I automatically like up on guard, like I'm hopping on tip now. I'm like, yo, what's up? And she's like, why you acting like you ain't never seen me before? And I'm like, what do you? And then I'm sitting there and I realized like this is a chick who I was like close associates with, but I had never seen her with no makeup before. And she looked completely different. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't recognize her at all. She was calling my name. I seen her. I'm like, who the fuck is this? I get up close, like 5 feet. I'm like, what's up? She like, why you acting like you ain't never seen me before? And I'm looking, I'm like, whoa. I was like, how you feeling? You feeling okay? She was like, yeah, I'm doing all right. I was like, you had a rough morning, didn't you? She was like, yeah, just started talking. I was like, I already knew. I've never seen this chick without makeup ever. Seen her that one time, couldn't recognize her. And this was a chick like I talked to on a frequent basis. Like we was just acquaintances, not like dating or nothing. But I could not recognize her that in that moment. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And there's some chicks who I've known of since like high school. I'm a junior in college, still never seen them with no makeup on. You know what I'm saying? So I tell dudes all the time, be cautious of that makeup. Be cautious of that makeup. And a lot of chicks get offended when I say that, but me and y'all both know I'm telling the truth. And like I said on my Instagram earlier today, I said, shout out to the makeup artist, the last text. Goddamn, excuse me. Shout out to the makeup artist, the last text, the hairdressers. Y'all do the God's work. Y'all do the Lord's work. Y'all do God's work. Cause bro, give a chick some lashes and some makeup and a nice hairdo. That could take her from a 4 to a 7. That could take her from say, damn, this bitch kind of cute. I ain't gonna lie, this bitch kind of good. This bitch look kind of good. I ain't gonna lie. Like, let's be real. So shout out to the makeup artists and the last text and the hairdressers. Y'all do the Lord's work. Y'all take some of these chicks from looking ugh to looking, damn, this bitch kind of cute. Let's be real. Or they take the chicks that look cute to fine. You give a cute chick, some good makeup. I'm not talking about no heavy, ugly looking crazy, man. I'm talking about you give a cute chick some good, a good, nice makeup, light makeup, a nice hairdo, give her some little lashes. She looking fine. You feel me? So that's why I have much appreciation for the last text, the hairdressers, the makeup artists, but I'm always, the natural beauties is always my number one. It's very sexy to me when on the regular, I see a chick, no lashes, no makeup, especially them rare chicks where they could just wear the wet hairstyle and just leave the crib. The wet and wavy. She could just had a wet and wavy or the messy bun. No makeup, no lashes, and just still looking bad. That's crazy. I love that. That natural beauty is unmatched. You know what I'm saying? That natural beauty is unmatched. And my mama was always like that. I don't think my mama has ever worn makeup for real. Well, I ain't ever seen my mama in no makeup. I seen her put on lipstick, or I seen her, get a weave in once or twice in my whole life. But my mama always been a natural beauty since she was young, She never wore makeup or nothing like that. My mama just naturally been cold. You know what I'm saying? You should do workout videos on hitting different parts of the muscle. See, when I dropped that one workout video, ain't nobody watching. That was crazy to me. Well, it wasn't crazy to me, but I kind of expected it. But it's like, because I don't record when I do my real workouts, because it just take too much work and it take off my focus. But when I recorded my supplemental arm day on a Saturday, like very low views. I was like, oh, I ain't doing this again. Or it'll be a long time before I drop another workout video, because it took me like an hour and a half to edit. You know what I'm saying? It was only like a 5-6 minute video. You know, it was a good video according to me, but it's like ain't nobody really watch it. So I was like, it's gonna be a while before I do this again. You feel me? But yeah, natural face, natural body. Oh yeah. It ain't nothing like a chick with a fat ass. And I'm not talking about a fat, sloppy ass. I'm talking about a chick with a nice, like, gym ass, gym body, a messy bun, and a cute face. It ain't nothing like it. It ain't nothing like it. Let me be real. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love that. That shit go crazy. Thoughts on Nate Robinson? Hey, man. I give him credit for trying. Man. You know, he almost 40 years old. He shouldn't be out here trying to box niggas like Jake Paul anyway. Because getting a knockout at almost 40 years old, that could really mess you up in the long run. But hopefully it doesn't. You know, and he just wasn't prepared. He just wasn't prepared. You know, I remember watching Nate Robinson in the dunk contest. What was that, 08? When he was going against Dwight Howard? I was in my grandma's house. When he pulled out the phone, the green phone posits with the St. Patrick's Day Knicks uniform and dunked over Superman, Dwight Howard. Like, I remember watching all of that, man. I'm talking about sweet, juicy, big, juicy breasts. But I remember watching all of that. And now this nigga boxing Jake Paul. Like, bro, please keep yourself from dying, man. You too old to be getting knocked out, Nate. You almost 40. How do I feel about people who smoke weed? If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. I've known people who smoke weed all my life. I will argue that, you know, I'm in college. Most of the people I know smoke weed. You know, most of the people I know smoke weed. Now, my close friends, they either don't smoke or they smoke very occasionally. But most of the people I know smoke weed, smoke weed, all that. You know, and it's just like, hey, man, do what you do. Depending on how much you do it, I ain't gonna mess with you, because I don't like being around that kind of environment. Like, it's nothing more that, well, I ain't gonna say that. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I get around a dude and he high. Like, I hate talking to high people, drunk people. I hate talking to people that's under the influence. I really hate it. It gets on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people I don't hang out with, because, you know, I might link up to hang out with them and they showing up high, they ain't tell me, or they showing up drunk, and we just going to Buffalo Wild Wings or something to kick it. I'm like, you threw off the whole vibe, you know, because you gotta come to the restaurant high or drunk. Like, come on, bro. But I ain't got nothing against it. I mean, if you gonna do it, you do it. I don't do it, but that's just me. You feel me? That's just me. What's your thoughts on the vaccine? I ain't gonna give my thoughts because they might fuck around and deactivate my channel or some shit. But I mean, I ain't taking the vaccine. That's just me. I'm not taking it. But I don't discourage people from taking it if they want to. You know, while I am against the vaccine, I really don't like people who are they bully people who want to take the vaccine. Like, okay, if you don't want to take the vaccine, don't take it. But don't be trying to bully people out of taking it. Like, If a grown ass man want to take a vaccine, take the vaccine. If a grown ass woman want to take the vaccine, take the vaccine. I'm not about to try and educate you unwarrantedly about why I wouldn't take the vaccine unless you ask. But I ain't taking the vaccine. But if a person want to take it, go ahead and take it, bro. Go ahead and do it. Your body. It's your body. You know what I'm saying? It's your body. Now, will I second guess? Well, it depends. Especially if you African American. If you black and you take the vaccine, I'm going to ask why. Like not to try to bully or to start some kind of heated argument, but I'm going to ask why. Because history has shown us that vaccines and diseases, they have not taken the best measures when it comes to black people. You know what I'm saying? Tuskegee syphilis experiment, if anybody remembers. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they came up with this vaccine in like 3 months, 6 months. It's like, bro, come on now. Niggas still trying to figure out how to fix the flu or the common cold. And then we got a COVID vaccine. Yeah, okay. All right, buddy. Yeah. Try to get that one over on me. But love my content. Appreciate that, Holly. But we don't got no more questions. It's after midnight, so I'm gonna shut this thing down, bro. If y'all didn't hit the like button, make sure y'all hit the like button for y'all leave. Wiping your feet at the door, as freeze as it or sinful to P would say. You feel me? But I'm gonna shut this thing down. Make sure y'all have some good rest tonight. Have you a good Saturday in the morning, man. Do something fun, do something relaxing, do something productive, do something peaceful. You feel me? So that's the topic for the day, man. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.